Betrayal never comes from your open enemies. It always comes from the people who sit across from you, share your meals, smile at your face, and call themselves your closest friends, partners, or colleagues. Most people believe that a dangerous, untrustworthy person is easy to spot. They look for obvious villains, people who steal, yell, or break promises outright. But in advanced behavioral psychology, we know that true social predators are master actors. They don't wear a warning sign. They wear the absolute perfect mask of kindness, empathy, and absolute loyalty. They count on your politeness and your natural desire to see the best in people to blind you to what they are actually doing. But no matter how practiced a manipulator is, they cannot override the laws of human biology and behavioral physics. There is one specific, highly subtle behavior pattern that exposes an untrustworthy person instantly. It doesn't look malicious at first. In fact, it looks completely harmless. Yet, it is the ultimate, definitive psychological red flag that proves a person will betray you the exact second it benefits their status. Today, we are pulling off the mask. We are going to deconstruct the exact mechanics of this hidden tell, explain the dark brain chemistry behind it, and hand you the precise behavioral matrix to protect your life before the knife enters your back. Let us freeze the frame on the exact behavior you must never ignore. The single type of person you must never, ever trust is the informational vulture. This is someone who proactively sits with you and asks highly invasive questions about your past mistakes, your deepest insecurities, or your personal conflicts with others. They say things like, "You can tell me anything. I'm just worried about you," or "I want to know how you're really holding up." They aren't asking because they care about your healing. They are running a diagnostic scan on your internal software. To a master manipulator, your personal secrets are not sacred confidences. They are currency. They are actively gathering data on your emotional vulnerabilities, so they know exactly what handles to pull when they need to control you later. But the definitive leak, the exact move that proves they are a vulture, happens the moment you look at how they treat other people's secrets in front of you. If someone pulls you into a corner and eagerly whispers a devastating piece of private gossip, a past failure, or a deep secret about a mutual friend, your brain feels special. You think, "Wow, they trust me enough to tell me this." This is a catastrophic cognitive error. You must memorize this absolute psychological law. How a person talks to you about others is exactly how they talk to others about you. The exact second you walk out of the room, your private vulnerabilities become the fresh gossip they trade to climb the social hierarchy with someone else. When you identify an informational vulture in your personal or professional life, you must refuse to engage in standard social protocols. Do not call them out, do not look angry, and do not yell. If you accuse them of being a gossip, they will immediately switch into weaponized victimhood, crying to the room that you are being paranoid and untrustworthy. Instead, you deploy the emotional black hole protocol. You quietly strip away their premium access to your mind through 3 precise behavioral phases. Phase number 1 is the gray information diet. When they ask you an invasive or probing question about your personal life, your job, or your relationships, you do not offer real data. You give them completely flat, hyper-boring, general summaries. If they ask, "How are things going with your partner?" or "Are you stressed about the boss?" you look them dead in the eye and say with clinical boredom, "Everything is completely fine. Just focused on work. Thanks for asking." You become as uninteresting as a plain gray rock. When they realize that squeezing you for data yields zero information payout, their predatory interest dries up. Phase number 2 is the third-party freeze. When the vulture sits next to you and tries to dump toxic gossip about a mutual peer to buy your alliance, you must refuse to participate. Do not nod your head, do not smile, and do not ask follow-up questions. Instead, let a 2-second silent void hang in the air, look at them with flat eyes, and drop this precise linguistic script. "That sounds like something you should discuss directly with them. I'm completely focused on finishing this asset right now." Type the line in your brain and deliver it with absolute finality. This phrase is psychological checkmate. You are explicitly telling their subconscious mind that you refuse to act as an audience for their malice, signaling that your boundary is completely impenetrable. Phase number 3 is the transactional quarantine. Move the relationship entirely out of the emotional realm and into the purely transactional. Stop sharing casual text messages, ignore their invitations to informal gatherings, and limit every single interaction to baseline logistics. You do not show anger. Anger is a form of validation. You offer an absolute, unreadable void of clinical indifference. Your trust is the most sacred currency you possess. The moment you hand it to someone who trades other people's dignity for social status, you are signing the warrant for your own emotional execution. High-status maturity is the absolute willingness to judge people by their actions toward others, rather than their sweet words toward you. The next time you hear someone happily tearing down an absent friend, do not panic, and do not buy into their smile. Stand tall on your own 2 feet. Recognize the informational vulture, deploy the gray information diet, close the drawbridge to your fortress, and walk away into your own peace. You hold the sovereign armor now. If you want to keep building your psychological defenses, fluidly shifting through advanced behavioral frameworks, and learning how to protect your mental sanity, protect your mind by hitting that subscribe button right now. Stay aware, stay safe, and never let them pull your strings.